Coming to you all the way from Norfolk, Virginia, Go On Podcasts presents How Embarrassing with Molly and Jeff.
How embarrassing!
How embarrassing!
That's never gonna be good.
Music cut out as soon as you said how embarrassing. Oh well. Welcome to the pod.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to How Embarrassing, the podcast about all of our embarrassing lives. My name is Molly.
And I am Jeff.
And today, we're coming at you live from Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh. Which is different than any other podcast. How?
Yeah, it's different this time because I am in
So
a
you have an
closet.
embarrassing
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, she's failing.
I broke. Yeah, I have an embarrassing story. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. So when I was in high school, I was in 9th grade, and I was in the locker room getting ready for track practice because I ran track my freshman year of high school.
Hot.
Before I was asked not to return to the team. And I got my period.
Hot.
And
Gross.
having your period's really shameful and embarrassing. But I didn't know how to use tampons yet. So I needed a pad. And there's nothing more embarrassing than having to ask people if they have a pad. But I had to. I had no choice. So I walked around the locker room until I found like this one girl who's kind of like a fucking nerd. So I knew she wouldn't make fun of me. Because she's like a dweeb and she had bad BO. And so
Probably because she had pads.
Jesus.
It was all just sitting there.
Well, get this, Jeff. I said, hey, do you have a pad I can borrow? But I guess I was so embarrassed. Like I just like mumbled and rushed my way through that sentence. And she was like, yeah. And I was like relieved, like, phew, like now my task is done. Like I can focus now on just like getting on with my life. And she handed me a pen.
Oh my god.
She thought I asked to borrow a pen.
Oh, shit.
So then I pretended to write something on my hand.
And then give it back to her?
That's great.
Did you write down buy more pads?
I literally was like, oh, like, thanks. And I tried to play it off and like fake wrote myself. I didn't really write anything on my hand. I pretended to write something on my hand.
She probably noticed and was like, God, this girl is so weird. She has bad BO.
God, it was so... I actually did used to have prescription deodorant because I was such a bad sweater.
Oh my god, I didn't know they made that.
Yep, they do. I'm a very wet pit girl. That's what they call me. They call me wet pit.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my story about pads.
Yeah.
Fucking embarrassing. There's something about pads.
Pads,
like
pens, and pits.
if it was a tampon, that would have been so much less embarrassing to ask for, and I don't know why. I don't know why that's in my head that tampons are not embarrassing and pads are.
Yeah, I was going to ask that because Jeff and I are dudes. Like, do other women look down on you for that? Are they, like, judge you?
I don't know why that's in my head that, like, cool girls are tampon users and pad girls are, like, the fucking horse girls, you know?
It's probably just marketing.
Fucking horse girls wear pads.
Because it reminds them of, like, tiny little saddles for themselves.
Jesus. You're laughing so hard you're clipping, Molly. I love it. She's like rolling on the floor laughing.
I'm about to cry. Okay, Jeff, what did you got?
I got a story.
Okay, let's hear it.
Back to my Domino's days. It was Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working at Domino's, and I was delivering this pizza. It was after all the like Halloween stuff had happened. It was probably like 10 at night.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I knock on the door of this house, and then like 3 kids come from the street up the front yard to like start walking inside. Also, it was clear they lived there. But then this car like zooms around the fucking corner and parks in front of the house. This guy in his truck gets out and goes, "Hey, you like Smashing Pumpkins?" And for some reason, I thought he was talking to me and talking about the band, the Smashing Pumpkins. And I was like, "Yeah, man,
Yeah,
I love Smashing Pumpkins."
Oh man, butterfly wings, yeah.
And then he fucking picks a pumpkin out of his car and launches it at these like 15-year-old kids.
Fuck.
And you were like, "Oh, those pumpkins."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, it's Halloween." And they're all like starting screaming at the guy, and the guy's all like screaming. And it was like there was about to be like a fight in the front yard. And then the lady finally opens the door, and it's like this old grandmother. And she's like, "What is going on?" And like freaking out. And I was just trying to get the pizza delivered to her and get out of there.
Yeah.
But she's like trying to figure out what the hell is going on and why this guy's yelling at her kids or her grandkids. And I just kept being like, "Can you just pay for the pizza and like let me leave?" Like,
Oh,
I'm not part of your
days where you had to pay for the pizza when it got there.
Yeah, back in the days before COVID.
Well, no, now it's
that long ago.
Now it's all online.
Yeah, but you still have to sign the receipt and put the tip on the receipt.
I feel like I pay everything all online for years.
Well, you're
I put the
wrong.
tip on the app.
Well, it was a while ago that I worked at Domino's, so I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like 5 years ago.
I'm really proud of you for all the moves you've made in your career, Jeff.
Thanks. Let's get to a ad break.
Yeah, I think so.
Ding dong.
Hello.
Hi, ma'am. Would you be interested in purchasing nails?
Why, fingernails or nail hardware?
Yes. All nails
Oh.
are great nails. You see, the nail company and I decided that you needed nails. You are much like Jesus Christ and require nails.
Okay. How many nails do I need?
Jesus only needed 3, but he was pretty skinny, so I think you'll need 5.
Let's get 6. Make it a baker's half dozen.
Yay! That's right. How embarrassing. Sponsored by Jesus Nails. You need to crucify someone? Jesus Nails.
Are you insinuating that our podcast is responsible for the crucifixion?
Guess what? It was not the Jewish people. It was how embarrassing.
Jesus Christ, I'm never letting you do that again.
That's a good one. And we're back.
That was an interesting religious hot take with Jeff. I gotta say, Jeff, you're right. I am the one who's been fucking up the ads, not you.
Thank you. That was fun and creative. It wasn't about fucking low blow or your dad's tables. So
my dad pays for those ads. So
hey, I haven't seen any of this money.
Neither have I. I haven't hooked up my PayPal account. Anyway.
Oh no.
This is logistics.
Let's get to the guest.
Let's honestly get some new energy in this room.
Woo!
Does anyone have a pad? You know her from the time she went to the shopping mall.
You know her from that time that she hung out with that doctor and traveled back in time.
And you know her because her name rhymes with timbre.
It's Amber Nettles! Woo!
Guys, thanks for having me.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for bearing witness to this podcast. Your name will be associated with this episode. So
yeah, I'm really excited for the Google searching.
Yeah, the Google alerts are about to be off the chain.
Oh gosh.
First thing I need to know, Amber.
Yes.
Are you embarrassed to be here?
Maybe a little bit, because I was just thinking this is what life has come down to.
Yeah.
Being on a podcast talking about things that happened in the past. We don't have anything else to do. So
yeah, we're like, no updates here.
Right?
Yeah, nothing's new. Might as well talk about stuff from when I felt cooler and the world wasn't burning. So
yeah. It's like every Zoom call and phone call starts with like, how you doing? And you have to be like, hanging in there.
As good as can be.
Yeah, good. I'm fine. These times.
And then you talk about TV for a little bit. Like, who's watching something good?
Yeah.
Happening.
I'm glad I'm not having these conversations with anyone.
Oh,
Jeff. I talk to you about this all the time.
I can tune you out.
That's true.
People don't even pretend with you, Jeff. They're like, hey, Jeff, fuck you. All right, good phone call. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. People just say fuck you and hang up. I'm like,
honestly,
I was watching Frasier. Oh, man.
Fuck. Okay, so back to Amber, our guest. Have you come with
what?
Not lately. Sorry.
Oh.
Have you arrived to
sensual
this
love?
Have you arrived to this podcast with a tale of embarrassment to bequeath upon us?
Absolutely. I've got stories for days.
Yes.
I have a tendency to act like I know what I'm doing, and then sometimes it just comes out that I don't, or I really embarrass myself. I've got one. I was just thinking about, someone was mentioning like high school. This is a short one, but this is just sort of that, hey, I'm going to try to like be cool for a minute, and then this is what happens. I stop trying to be cool. It was should I just launch into it?
Yeah, launch.
Cool, launch.
It's the only thing that gets Jeff to stop talking.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I was a freshman at Phoebus High School, and they had these fire drills every once in a while, like they do. And when you had these fire drills, half the school went out to the front of the building, half the school went out to the back. And during this fire drill in particular, I was in chemistry class, so we were one of the last classes to like file out. So half the school is standing in the parking lot in front of the school. And I'm walking with my friends from chemistry class, and there was some bullying going on. Not me. I wasn't doing it. But my friend Christine was making fun of some other girl's hair. I don't know if I don't remember the specifics, if like it was just too tight or something. I don't know. And I was laughing because Christine was funny. And this is where karma really got me. So in front of half the school, all the upperclassmen and everything else, I should mention, I was a freshman in high school, and I wore a full face of makeup to school every day.
Nice.
Like foundation, concealer. I was like really trying, you know? So I'm laughing at my friend Christine making fun of this girl's hair. Karma is coming toward me very fast. The next thing I know, I'm walking with my face turned, but I'm still walking forward, and I slam face first into a hollow metal flagpole that's holding the flag, you know? Yeah. And those are huge because they're like 50 feet high.
Yeah.
It goes, dong, 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 dong.
Oh, it's so loud, so everyone turns.
So loud. Everyone in, half the school looks,
It's like everyone's like, oh.
And it's just, I pause for a minute, and so I like try to duck behind another one of my friends, but And Anthony Mack, I'll never forget it. I shouldn't say full names, whatever. But he was
friend of the
"You
pod.
can't hide, Amber. Your makeup's all over the flagpole."
Oh shit! That's mean.
It's like a full. It's like something out of a cartoon where like a full. It's
like the image of the Virgin Mary is.
Yeah.
Also, if I hear a big noise and someone like say "ow" and then I turn and there's someone ducking and trying to hide behind other people, you know it was that person. Like,
I was definitely not slick. That was one of those things that I think only a few. I mean, I guess everybody knew that it was me. Now that I think about it, I think I kind of blocked it out for the rest of my high school experience. It's like I don't want to think about how that happened.
It never happened.
Yeah. Again, it was the makeup smear, I think, that really got me.
That telltale smear.
Yeah.
We've had a previous guest, Scott Rose, who also ran into a glass door with makeup on and had a face full on the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch where you're going if you've done a full face.
Right.
Or at least get like a decent makeup setting spray so that it doesn't come off.
They didn't really have setting spray wasn't a thing.
I feel like that was invented like last year.
Yeah, it hasn't been around that long.
Spray?
Yeah, it's like glue for your makeup.
Yep.
Okay. I feel like I was even more in the know when we were talking tampons and pads.
Yeah. If there's one thing Jeff knows about, it's pads and tampons, but setting spray, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Speaking of the tampons and pads thing, I think that there's something associated with like, and I just remember this, that like there was a fear if you used tampons, you would like break your hymen and it was like you were having sex.
Yeah.
So I think it was like a subconscious thing where like the cool girls who were sexually active,
they were using tampons and pads were for the dumb virgins. Pads were for the dumb virgins on their horses.
Right.
Yeah. On their little baby horses.
I will never forget my we couldn't go, like me and my cousin, I think both got our period the same year, and there was a situation where we were at the beach and we both I think had our period and couldn't go to the beach because you can't go swimming unless you can put a tampon in. My aunt was so fucking sick of hearing us complain about it. She like walked into the room, dropped her pants, and like proceeded to tell us all about how to put a tampon in. It was one of the most scarring experiences of my
Whoa.
life.
Oh man.
But the thing was, she dropped her pants, she kept her underwear, like she didn't show us how to put one in. She just like stood in her underwear and told us. And we were like, you could have kept your pants.
Right. Like either like show us or tell us. You don't have to like do an in between.
There's no halfway.
She did this halfway tampon talk, and it was so just terrifying.
The Vietnam War of tampon
I mean,
talk.
my Aunt Jackie's scary enough as it is, and then she went on this tampon like rampage, and we got even more scared. And you know what? I put a tampon right in. I was so terrified.
Nice, it worked.
It's like, I don't want to piss this lady off. I better get this going.
Could you see her bush through her underwear?
Oh.
Matt, I'm going to be honest, I don't recall. I don't know.
I don't know why I asked that.
I don't know either,
Yeah,
but
that's kind of a pervy
I can so
question.
clearly see my Aunt Jackie in her underwear right now in my head.
But not her
But-
bush.
Yeah,
But not the bush.
not that I know of, but I don't think I would have been like zoned in on that, you know? I wouldn't have been like, oh, I can totally see.
Can you go swimming on your period if you're like in a lake instead of the ocean? Because there's no sharks in a lake.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different situation.
Okay, cool.
Entirely.
Period talk with Molly and Jeff.
Welcome to the Padcast.
Oh shit!
That's a good one though.
Thanks.
Let's
Okay.
get another story from Amber.
I was about to say, let's stop blabbing about pads.
Pads and tampons.
My aunt's bush. My dad is throwing up while he listens to this.
I have a recent story And I'm like, I'm a little scared to share it because I do think it's going to get back to this person, but like, whatever. I don't think I could do any more damage anyways.
Yes.
How embarrassing exclusive.
Yeah. So back in like January or February, this guy who I've been Facebook friends with for a while, he's in Chicago. We hung out like 2 or 3 times. We had sort of talks. We do projects that are sort of like adjacent to each other. Like he's a film guy. He had come to some women in comedy events, for which I work. Just random stuff. And so, when I started at the IO Comedy Network, and also I should clarify, I don't know if we were ever like interested in each other. We had just started hanging out once in a while. So we hung out 3 times. On the 3rd time, it was particularly strange because it was his birthday. I sent him like a random message because I had an extra ticket to this new show at Second City. He said yes, literally within 2 hours of the show. I show up and I don't realize that 15 of my nerdiest friends are at this show with us. So it looks to them like I brought a date, and it looks to him like I brought him to be introduced to all of my nerd friends. You know?
Yeah.
And like
on his birthday, no less.
On his birthday. And then just stupid crap. Like I have to say hi to everybody, and I come back and it's tight seating there. And I go to take my coat off, and I realize that my blazer is on inside out. And I even said to him, like, my blazer's on inside out. He's like, oh, I just thought you were like weirdly fashionable. Well, definitely not the case. So that was on like a Monday night. So it's his birthday. After the show, he and I separate from the group and we hang out at the bar for a little bit and we're chatting. And again, this is a nice guy, but we had just started sort of hanging out. So I don't have any expectations on like what it was going to be or anything, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Good dude. So the next day, I'm talking to my best friend on the phone, and I'm telling her, because she actually knows about this guy, because again, we sort of started like chatting in January about all these projects and stuff. She's like, what does this guy look like? He had mentioned to me that his sister's friend had said he kind of looked like BJ Novak. So I was like, I don't know, like BJ Novak. She's like, send me a picture, you know? So if you don't know this, I know women do it, and I don't mean to be super gendered, but I know every woman I've ever met does this.
Are we getting back into pads?
I'll screenshot someone's like Facebook photo for future reference or to show my friend, you know. So sorry, there's a dog in the background.
My phone is like full of like screenshots of Tinder profiles and shit like
Purple
that.
Sexy.
Yeah.
I screenshot a female friend's Facebook photos because I wanted to show someone how many different hair colors she had. Like, you get into this thing where it's like, it's no big deal. Yeah. So I go and I'm like, oh yeah, let me send you a photo of him. So I go to his profile and I screenshot his main profile photo and I send it. He's like, I didn't get it. I'm on speakerphone. I'm like, okay, hold on. And so then I go into his photos and I scroll, and you know, I'm doing, and so I get a couple different angles. And I mean, I'm scrolling like deep cuts, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's really cute. That must be from his graduation. Look, he's with his mom, whatever. So I sent her 5 of these photos.
Oh no.
And she's like, Amber, I didn't get them yet. What are you doing wrong? I'm not an idiot, okay? I've used technology for a very long time. I had a Twitter account when it launched in 2008. But I look and I'm like, I don't know, you know, you might have to hang up and then your phone will load them or whatever. and we're chatting. And then I go and I look at the phone and I go to scroll to get out of what I was messaging her. And then I'm like, wait a minute. And I look and I realize I didn't send her those photos. I sent him those photos.
Oh no. God.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh my God. I don't even know like what you would
That
say.
is not good.
Thank you. So again, to recap real quick, I sent this guy who I've hung out with 3 times in not, I wouldn't say it's absolutely necessarily just a platonic sense. at least on that third time, which was his birthday.
Yeah, his birthday party you threw for him.
Yeah. and hung out with him one-on-one at the bar, and there was hugging or whatever.
Oh.
And you know, I sent
Sensual
him
love.
of himself, some of which are deep cuts from his profile.
Yeah, you're sending like way back.
Like I had to look for that, you know? So I just started screaming. And Mallory, you know, hundreds of miles away, literally, she said she fell into the kitchen floor and peed her pants. No offense. Sorry, Mallory, for revealing that about you. So I was like, what the fuck do I do? Do I just throw my phone out the window, pack a bag, and leave, and never like?
Oh my god!
I go and like start a new life somewhere. What do I do? So I mean, again, it's a very nice guy, very good dude.
Yeah.
I just messaged him and I say, I'm gonna call him Jack. Hey Jack, I am so embarrassed. I was telling my friend how you said you looked like BJ Novak, which is paraphrasing, by the way.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to show her what you meant, and here we are. And then he didn't respond that night.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So all night you're just like, fuck.
Well, I mean, I went to bed at I think I went to bed at 10:30. I just couldn't take it anymore. I think I took his Xanax and I'm fucking done.
I'm out.
So then when I wake up in the morning, he had messaged me and he was like, wait, what happened? I just got a bunch of photos of myself. And then I said, he was like, I didn't say I looked like BJ Novak. My sister's friend said I looked like it. And then he sent me a screenshot of the message, which I've tried to dissect what that was. Maybe he's embarrassed because he didn't want me to think that he was saying he looked like BJ Novak. I don't care.
Yeah, like Hollywood stud BJ Novak. Like, what?
God, if he listens to this, I just have to hope that, you know, he gets that this was the most embarrassing thing I think I've ever done to myself. Because again, if I'm on the other side, if I get 5 photos like that, I'm like, oh, I need to get a restraining order, you know, which is not the case.
I don't know. You have me kind of wondering, like, I wonder if people have screenshots of me that they send to their friends to be like, look at this piece of ass.
I think they are sending photos to each other of you, and that's not what they're saying.
It's I don't know.
Look at this hot slice.
So suffice it to say, we have not hung out since then.
Oh no.
Well, this is also, I mean, it was right for Corona. But we're not as chatty as we once were, and I'm just gonna go ahead and let that one go.
I think you're gonna have to cut your losses here with that one.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, super cool dude, and I mean, I would still say that we're friendly, but no, it was just bad. And it was also, I felt like technology betrayed me for a minute. You know?
Yeah.
Like, how could this happen to me? How could this happen to me?
Yeah, like how did the world end up this fucked up?
Right? Like I that was the worst thing that happened to me this year. Not this coronavirus.
I just picture him like looking at the pictures and then like slowly like peeking out his window.
Right, being like,
what the fuck?
And again, maybe he didn't think anything of it, or he just was like, oh, you know, he accepted my, you know, explanation. It's something, I don't know. I think when something like that happens, you're like, oh man, now they're going to think I'm crazy, you know, which.
Yeah.
And then you try to explain that you're not crazy. And then you really sound crazy.
You overdo it. You sound like a complete psycho.
Everyone listening to this podcast is like, oh yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
for sure.
Poor Jack.
So yeah, that's the most recent of my like embarrassing.
That's a biggie.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've never done that before. I've never sent someone this wrong message.
Oh my God, I have, and it was bad.
I'm lying. I've done it a lot.
Oh my God, wait. Actually, yeah, I've seen Jeff do it like a million times. Jeff is the king of texting the group chat when he thinks he's just texting me.
Oh, no.
He's done it like 3 times, and every time I text him immediately, I'm like, Jeff, that was in the fucking group, you idiot.
And then I go, ah! All right, let's
delete.
let's get into an ad break.
Okay. Ow!
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bump you. I'm just carrying this big old log.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing walking around the department store with a giant log? I'm trying to shop for furniture.
Well, this log is my baby. His name is Samuel, and he's about a year old.
Wait, you have a 1-year-old baby log named Samuel?
Yeah, I think I was pretty clear with saying that.
Well, what does Samuel eat?
You dummy. Wood chips, obviously.
Wood chips? How much wood did a wood chip chip if a wood chip could chip wood?
Yeah, he's a cannibal.
Okay.
Well, my little baby log cannibal.
All right. Well, where can I find these wood chips?
You take wood and you chop it up real finely, and then it's wood chips.
Okay. The How Embarrassing podcast is proudly sponsored by Wood Chips. Make sure you get plenty of wood chips to feed your log Samuel.
Yep.
No, but I have a pen.
Well, these ads have really come back with a vengeance. I love it.
Right? We're killing it now.
Now that we're the Pad Squad, we are living it up. They call us the Pad Squad. Okay, I gotta stop. Anywho's. All right. So it is time to play some games. Or segments. Or maybe just one game. I actually don't know.
It's time for segments of games. Let's get our first game started.
Yeah, let's fucking play. Fuck. Marry. Kill. Raise.
Marry. Kill.
Marry.
Raise.
Get married. I'm gonna kill.
Marry.
Your period.
Gross.
All right, so it's time for an original How Embarrassing game that we have just invented. No one's ever played it before. It's trademarked. We copyrighted it, and it's called Fuck, Marry, Kill, Raise. So the way this is going to work, Amber, is we are going to give you 4 options. You pick 1 to fuck, 1 to marry. You don't fuck the one you marry.
No.
1 to kill. You don't fuck the one you kill, dead or alive. And 1 to raise as your own child. And you, obviously, you don't fuck the ones you raise. Don't shit where you eat, Amber.
What? Don't shit where you eat? That's how you describe pedophilia? And incest.
And eating poop.
Children's poop. There we go. I could tell Matt really wanted to hit the bell again.
All right. So, fuck, marry, kill, raise. Your options are me.
Me.
And yourself. Go.
Oh,
Start the timer. Go.
Oh, shit. Okay.
You have 1 hour.
Kill myself.
Nice.
Sorry.
Nice.
Sweet.
Oh no. Ooh. I can't decide who I want to have sex with the most. You
Talk
guys.
it out. Talk it out.
Or the least. Fuck Molly.
Ooh.
Yes.
Marry Jeff. Raise Matt.
Oh, yes.
Whoa.
Why would you raise Matt?
Yeah.
I bet he's a fun kid.
You think he'd be a fun kid?
Where he
I think
is
he'd be a
now.
monster.
I would be. That's the first raise I've gotten since Scott Rose.
Why would you pick Jeff for marriage? Just wondering.
I don't get married very often.
I don't get married very often.
Actually, I think I know the least about Jeff, so I'm just taking a chance.
That's honestly a big chance.
Have you been watching a lot of Love is Blind?
It's like, well, I eliminated Molly because I love you. Yeah, I was just like I'm gonna have sex with Molly or Matt or Jeff.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
After that story about the pads and her grandma's bush, like I can see why you would want to sleep with Molly.
Yeah, I mean, now that you know I use pads,
that was the turning point for me. Yeah,
and have prescription fucking deodorant.
Yeah, for my sweaty pits. Old wet pit.
Old wet pit.
Everybody wants to play with wet pit.
Jesus, what?
Gross.
I don't know. Sorry, I feel weird about it.
That was Fuck, Marry, Kill, Raise.
That was it. That's the game. Fuck, Marry, Kill, Raise. We played the game. It was Fuck, Marry, Kill, Raise. Fuck, Marry, Kill, Raise. Bop, 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 da, ba, da, bop, bop, boo, 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 boo. Oh, yeah. Ooh.
What is happening?
Dooby-doo. Me-moo, moo-moo, ma-moo, ma.
She's going fucking crazy in isolation.
Truly. I am on the edge of my mind.
As people say when they're going crazy.
Yeah, oh my gosh. My mind is going in loop-de-loops and I can't, I'm working from home. I'm not getting anything done. I'm just staring. I stare a lot.
Barrett, your boyfriend, has said that he'll randomly come home and you'll just be staring out the window silently.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I've been watching this puppy who lives in my building. I see him go for his walks, and I sit at my back window, and I watched him go for his walk on the next block.
Cool.
Wait, that's it? Oh my god. Jesus.
I was expecting a story.
No, that's all I want to say about the puppy.
Okay.
When I was little, I used to, as a trick for my mom to get her to give me cookies, I would crawl into the kitchen and I go, I'm a puppy named Cookie and I only eat cookies.
That worked.
Fucking got her.
Yeah, you really pulled one over on her.
Tricked her. I wasn't a puppy. I was a girl.
You should have done that with your pads. You should have went up to that girl and been like, I'm a puppy named Pads, and I only use pads for my vagina.
Yeah, that would have been a better choice.
I'm a puppy named Pads.
That's a good Pixar movie, though. The puppy named Pads.
Oh, God.
All right. So we're wrapping things up.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being on, Amber. Molly has a question for you.
Oh, I do have a question for you. Did we ruin your life today?
No, this is fine. I might. This could be so much worse in terms of I think if like nobody who's hiring or they're really not gonna listen to this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be fine. I think I was on the Sexperts one time, and so in the Google search results, my name will come up Amber Nettles Cunnilingus. And I'm like, take that down. Take it down, Matt and Brian. So
yeah.
I think that still shows up for some reason.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the day this podcast absolutely crashes and burns my entire life.
Oh,
right.
And that'll be the day I move back in with my parents. Until then, though, I'm riding high.
Yeah, Amber, you got to tell us if, quote unquote, Jack actually listens to this or it somehow gets back to him. I'm rooting for you guys. I think this is kind of like a Hugh Grant, Julia Roberts sort of moment, I think.
This will be, this is the big outreach, the big gesture.
No, nice guy. I don't think that he has any interest in me, nor should he after that. So if I can get away with this with being like casually acquainted and not have to worry about him like going around telling people that I'm crazy, I will consider it a success.
I think he's definitely told people about this.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, I hope not.
For sure.
But the funny thing is, I've told everyone.
Yeah.
I'm like, guess what stupid shit I did?
That story's too good to keep to yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything you want to plug? You got any shows coming up?
Oh, that's a nice question. No, I mean, I can plug Otherworld Theatre. I'm on the board of directors there now, and I do produce and host shows. We are actually producing Genre-thon for next month, which would usually be in person, but now we're opening it up, so we'll be having acts from across the country, which is nice.
Cool. And where this is in Chicago?
Well, it's going to be online.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, the theater is in Chicago.
Yeah. The theater is in Chicago. And then obviously, give Women in Comedy a gander and promote other stuff, but everything is on pause right now. So,
right.
You know.
Real quick, what is genre? You mentioned Genre-thon. What is that?
Genre-thon, which I don't have like the log line right now, but it's a festival featuring improv, comedy, sketch, and like play readings, all genre based. So sci-fi, fantasy, nerdy, geeky comedy. So we have everything from like improvised Star Trek to full play readings to the Shrews and Jane Austen, like all different types of genres and stuff. So obviously, like last year,
cool.
Yeah, last year my improvised movie team was a part of it. This year, the Improvised Ghost Hunters team that I'm directing, and the Shrews and Improvised Godzilla, all of which I'm a part of. We were all going to be in it, but
cool.
Now it's hard because it's like online stuff, so we're figuring it out. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us today, and talking about pads.
Yeah.
Talking pads.
Welcome to Talking Pads.
Thank you guys.
All right.
And thank you, Mommy's Little Worms.
Yes, thank you, Worms, for being such little good wormy fans.
Yeah. Worms unite.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
You've just listened to How Embarrassing Podcast with Molly and Jeff, a Go On podcast. If you have an embarrassing story and you'd like to be a guest on How Embarrassing, then send us an email at howembarrassingpodcast@gmail.com. Also, sign up for our Patreon. Give generously to us every month so we can give you this great content straight from Molly's closet.
What the fuck is happening?